Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. My apologies for being late. I was worried I was going to be as late as 10 minutes, but luckily things are okay. There is a good possibility that I may have to duck out during the interval, or maybe have the interval a bit earlier, possibly. Basically. I'm not gonna bullshit. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm not. I swear, I'm not going to. Basically, I literally have only had dinner 5-10 minutes ago. So that's why. Unfortunately, these things happen. It wasn't planned, but they do happen. Unfortunately, so I do apologise for the slight delay. It was not intentional, but we are here. It is the Snowflake on America, episode 8. We've got 6 stories to cover here, and a little quick one I wanted to add before we dive into it as well. It's the 1st of May 2025 at 8 p.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Dave McGinnis. Hope you're doing well. Great show. A great show with yourself and Dave Mulligan, as always. I apologise I wasn't there at the start, but I did join about 10-15 minutes after. So I hope you're. And I missed this morning's paper review when I said I was going to do it. Apparently I was out longer than I expected to be this morning. So I got by the time I got back, I'd already missed the morning's show. So I do apologise for that. There, so but I hope you're doing well, my friend. Alistair Keir, good to see you there, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, these things happen. Stephen Banker, good to see you there as well. Ginger Lefty, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well as well. Jow, good to see you there as well. Casper Norvera, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. That's very kind of you to support the Democratic Penguins Republic. Much appreciated. Our friend Pingu here is he's a prominent government figure. He's a prominent figure working alongside the Democratic Penguins Republic. So any super chats or gifted memberships or anything like that goes towards supporting the cause of McDonald's Island, protecting them from the evil orange tirade that is Donald Trump and his tariffs. So thank you so much for that support. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you. It's good to see you, Casper. Hope you're doing well. And I think that's everyone there. Yeah, that looks like everyone I can see there. But anybody else looking in the chats, hello. So just before we go straight into the first story, I just want to bring your attention to this that literally dropped about half an hour or so before the time, because I was obviously this one here. So Donald Trump has announced that Mike Waltz will be nominated as UN ambassador, and Marco is the new interim national security advisor. So I'm just going to explain this, and then we'll go into the next story, because this is literally only happened in the last 30-40 minutes, just for reference, guys. So Donald Trump says, I'm pleased to announce that I will be nominating Mike Waltz to be the next United States ambassador to the United Nations. From his time in uniform on the battlefield, in Congress, and as my national security advisor, Mike Waltz has worked hard to put our nation's interests first. I know he will do the same in his new role. In the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as the National Security Advisor. Remember, this is the same guy that uses Signal chats. While continuing his strong leadership as the State Department. Together, we will continue to fight tirelessly to make America and the world safe again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, yes. And which brings us to this story, guys. Which obviously, of course, I'm just going to take us to the main feed. Obviously, Trump's national security advisor Mike Waltz is out in the major staff shakeup after his Signal chat blunder. Yeah, that guy, Marco Rubio. I mean, talk about, like, instead of getting someone new in, it just get someone who's already in the cabinet. You know, who's a real suck up, and just give him 2 jobs instead. Coco Swing. I can't say your name on Twitch. Yo, how are you doing? I'll say, if I try to say Coco, I'll have to read your Koso. I can't say your name. I do apologise. Hello there. Hope you're doing well on there on the Twitch chat. Alistair Keir, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. All hail the DPR. Yes, all hail the Democratic Penguins Republic. Indeed. Yes, indeed. All hail, all hail, all hail. So yes, guys. So that's just been dropped, and then obviously the story related to it is obviously the whole Signal chat blunder here. It looks like there's actually movement being made in the Trump administration, and to be fair, I know this is going to sound really stupid, but the fact it's taken this long, considering how chaotic it's been, it's taken this long for someone to actually decide, you know what, things are a bit too crazy. I'm not up for this, or I'm going to move out. It took long enough on this. Am I able to comment without swearing? You're a mod, Jow. You can swear all you like. Well, to be fair, I think swearing is not disabled on the chat. So I'm pretty sure even if you're not a member, you can swear. I think so. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, let's read a bit more into it. So the White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is leaving the administration just weeks after it was revealed that he added a journalist. Bear in mind, this is before that announcement, okay? That he added a journalist to a Signal chat being used to discuss military plans, according to two people familiar with the matter on Thursday, marking the first major shake-up of the President Donald Trump's second term. Waltz came under serious scrutiny in March after revelations that he added journalist Jeffrey Goldberg to the private text chain on the encrypted Signal messaging app Signal, which was used to discuss plans for a sensitive and March the 15th military operation against Houthi militias in Yemen. Yeah, and then obviously they did another Signal chat with regards to friends and family. Was it Marco Rubio? Was it the one who like Marco Rubio? Like, it's just how this is massive. This was a massive scandal. Like, this is a massive scandal. It's a massive breach of American security. And it like, why has it taken this long for them to realize? Maybe we should do something about this. This is pretty bad. You know, a part of me feels like that perhaps that Trump is changing. I know this is going to sound weird. Just roll with me here, chat. A part of me does feel that Trump is changing his tune a little bit ever since he had that discussion with Zelensky at the Vatican. How long before Trump changes his mind on that? I do think like that. I sometimes feel like we are in character in dystopian novel when I read things like this. I need to give an example. It's just jam. Bamboozled, Stephen Banker says, yeah. Which was used to discuss military-sensitive plans. March 15th operates against Yemen's militias in Yemen. A far-right ally of the president, Laura Loomer, has also targeted Waltz, telling Trump in a recent Oval Office conversation that he needs to purge aides who she believes are insufferable, loyal to them to the Make America Great Again agenda. Waltz's deputy, Alex Wong, who is also expected to depart, according to the people who spoke on the condition autonomy to discuss the personal move, has not yet been made public. The National Security Council did not respond to a request for comment. Like I said, this could be changes, could be happening literally as we speak on this, guys. So Waltz, who served in the House representing Florida for 3 terms before his elevation to the White House, is the most prominent senior administration official to depart. Since Trump returned to the White House in his second term, the Republican president had been looking to avoid the turmoil of his first 4 years in office, during which he cycled through 4 national security advisors, 4 White House chief of staff, and 2 secretaries of state. The Signal chain also showed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth provided an exact timing of warplane launches when the bombs would drop. And Waltz had previously taken full responsibility for building the message chain, and administration officials described the episode as a mistake, but one that caused Americans no harm. Waltz maintained that he was not sure how Goldberg ended up in the messaging chain and insisted he did not know the journalist. Okay, sure, but you just happened to add him. Oh, who's this Goldberg lad? Let me just add him to it. I'm sure nothing will go wrong, guys. Trump and the White House, which insisted that no classified information was shared on the text chain. Yeah, of course, because it's definitely not classified information when you're coordinating exactly where you're hitting a target specifically, and how you are doing it with what fighters and with code names and whatnot. Yeah, it's definitely not classified information, even though it's specific targets and engagements, of course. Yeah. Do you remember there was a video a couple of weeks ago when it came out, like on the Snowflake Watch? Do you remember there was this? There was one video from the Snowflake Watch live stream. We had this woman who was absolutely seething from it because basically, she believed that I don't know if it was true or not, but basically she said one of her husband or son is a pilot, and obviously his life is in danger because obviously she believed that his life is in danger because of the fact that this has been discussed about the Signal chat and the attack itself. Mag133, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well there. So yeah, I remember that. That was pretty brutal. Haven't heard any follow-ups to it though. Have stood by Waltz publicly throughout the episode, but the embattled National Security Advisor is also under siege from personalities such as Luma, who has been complaining to administration officials that she had been excluded from the vetting process for National Security Council aides. In her view, Waltz relied too much on neocons, referring to hawkish neoconservatives within the Republican Party, as well as others who Luma argued were not MAGA enough types. Waltz was on television as late as Thursday morning promoting the administration's agreement with Kiev that it would allow the US to access Ukraine's crucial minerals and other natural resources. Yeah, I do have a short video that will come out in that will drop on that, just confirming that. It's interesting details. I haven't read the full reports on it, but basically my understanding is that there's nothing really concrete to it. There's not guarantees of American security, and there's nothing guarantees that that Ukraine has to give certain resources, is my understanding. So it's nothing like they have to give up certain resources to America, or my understanding from what I have read on it so far. I've only read from one or two reports, so it's possible that they may not be entirely accurate on that. As reports begin to circulate that Waltz could be leaving the administration, Luma appeared to take credit in a post on the social media site X, writing scalp. Hopefully the rest of the people who were set to be fired were given promotions, and at the NSC under Waltz also departed, Luma wrote on another post. Luma had a small victory lap when several other NSC officials were dismissed last month, one day after she met with Trump. Those firing including Brian Walsh, a director for intelligence, Thomas Bouret, a senior director for legislative affairs, and David Fing, a senior director for technology and national security, as well as other low-ranking aides. Walsh's resignation comes as questions are swirling around Hegseth and his role in the Signal chat. Well, he's been given more power, basically. We just seen there. Martin Briggs, good to see you there, and Richard Grumpy Git, good to see you both. Hope you guys are doing well. While Walsh set it up, Hegseth posted times for aircraft launches and bomb drops into the unsecured app and shared the same information with dozens of people in the second chat, including his wife and brother. Yeah, because, your wife and brother needs to know about those things, obviously, because they're definitely not classified information. The Associated Press reported that Hegseth also bypassed Pentagon security protocols to set up an unsecure line for a personal computer in his office. Besides terminals where he was receiving classified information, that raises the possibility that sensitive information could have been put at risk of potential hackers or surveillance. You might as well call him a Russian asset at this point with what he's doing. The Pentagon Inspector General was investigating Hegseth's use of Signal, and he has faced criticism from Democrats and even some Republicans. He has added to the turmoil at the Pentagon at a time when Hegseth has dismissed or transferred multiple close advisors. Nonetheless, Trump has maintained public confidence in Hegseth. Dear oh dear, he made Mike Rubio there as well, just for those who didn't see. Trump announced that Mike Waltz will be nominated as UN ambassador and Marco as the new interim national security advisor. That was announced after that report we just read there, guys, just for reference for those who have just come in. Yeah. Oh dear. I mean, you just did not get any of this within, like, even though, like, we have disagreements over the Democrats, and obviously it shouldn't have been Joe Biden when he took over. It could have been a different Democrat and whatnot. You did not have this in the 4 years under the Biden administration. And they're all such kiss asses to Trump. Those right in the cabinet as well. There's such suck ups to Trump, and it's just so shambolic. I mean, it really is just a bunch of kids. It's just a bunch of kids. And they're all playing around in the White House, and then there's Trump with the nuclear buttons that he could accidentally press at any time. I mean, I do wonder how many actually common sense people are still working in the White House, are working for the Pentagon, like thinking to themselves, how on earth are we going to put up with this for 4 years or even longer? I just don't know. Trump is going to poke one bear too many. Tick tick tick. But the thing is, what are you going to do? What we're going to do? Like, Trump needs to have an accident or something needs to happen to him in order for him to lose power. But this is the thing. Like, people talk about wanting Trump to step down or be removed as president. Like, I don't want JD Vance as president of the United States. Like, I have my grievances with Trump, and rightfully so. You want that guy to replace him? I don't want a guy that has a thing with couches and says nasty things about the Britain and Europe being the president of the United States. Don't get me wrong, he has a bit more brains than Donald Trump, but I certainly don't want that man being the president of the United States. I really don't. So, yeah, we looked at the ABC interview yesterday, some of it yesterday. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, I do advise people, if you haven't seen the ABC interview, to do check it out. It was just diabolical. Just diabolical. JD would just be one couch surfing all the time. Yeah, it would be. And then there's from one clown to another clown. This one here, guys. Elon Musk defends his work as he prepares to wind down at DOGE, but gives a hazy answer on the future. This is him, you know, we saw in the video yesterday. Here he is playing about with hats in a cabinet meeting. You know, supposedly one of the most powerful cabinets on the planet, with the president of the United States having so much power that all these people have. And then you have this guy on the table with them. He's just playing about. He's like a big kid, and it's like, why is this guy here? Like, what's he doing? Like, does he understand anything he's doing? And here he is playing with playing like a kid. Just absolutely mind-boggling. But yeah, but he looks like I think eventually what is going to happen is eventually he's going to get pushed out of DOGE and get pushed out altogether. I hope that happens. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think that's what's slowly going to be happening. I think people around Trump are slowly trying to push that narrative very slowly on Trump, that Musk is not really making a difference. But they have to say it in such a way not to anger Donald Trump, in such a way that would make him that would upset the orange tango. So they have to say it in such a way that you know, like maybe Elon Musk could be doing better, or he's not cutting as much as he wants to. This is what they'll do, because there's a lot of people around Trump, and they will constantly try to nitpick at him to try and eventually break that relationship between Musk and Trump to a point where Musk gets pushed out. Because Elon Musk has no idea what he's doing. You know, it's terrible that this immigrant has control, has some authority within the United States government. You know, just thank God the MAGA supporters don't know that Elon Musk is a South African citizen, because that would absolutely infuriate them if they were to find out about that, guys. Elon Musk is preparing to step back from his work leading the Department of Government Efficiency. DOGE had a request of the reporters gathered at the White House to interview him. Before he would answer any questions, he wanted someone to tell him a joke. The tech billionaire request in the Roosevelt Room on Wednesday underscores the surreal and idiotic sense of presence of the world's richest man at the highest echelons of American power. Over the last few months, his work of downsizing the workforce has sent shocks through the federal government and drawn intense pushback, including protests of his electric vehicle company Tesla. Musk, about his and the DOGE incongruous role in the US government, he said, "It is funny that we've got DOGE. I thought you'd be taking this seriously. But the absurdity of that seems like that we are in a simulation or what's going on. But I like it was a meme coin at one point," he said, laughing. "How did we get here?" He's taking. It's just like, what the hell's wrong with this man? Has he been like? I feel like this language is like, have you been smoking something? Like, have you been smoking weed or something? You know, to get yourself high, to make yourself feel better about the fact that, you know, everyone is suffering right now because of things that your department is doing. And here you are just having a joke about all this. Like, people's lives are being destroyed every single day. And yeah, I've seen a clip of the White House meeting a cabinet. Someone made a joke and then forced laughter. Yeah, they have to pretend to laugh. They have to act like it's all funny. They have to appease the great orange leader. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This guy's wearing 2 hats. It's an absolute joke. And everyone around that table, they all have to put on the face and whatnot. Musk, clad in all black but missing 2 hats, as he warned at Wednesday's earlier cabinet meeting, defended DOGE's work as he prepares to scale back his government's role and spend more time at his business. But he gave hazy answers about the work he had been doing and DOGE's future, and he seemed taken aback by the intense backlash he encountered. Yeah, because, I don't know, maybe it's because, people's social security, people's entitlements have been taken away from them. I don't know, maybe because you've laid off loads and loads of workers in as well. And in actual fact, according to most reports out there, they haven't actually done any government efficiency. They haven't actually successfully cutted, actually saved the taxpayer money, the US dollar, any taxpayer money at all. In fact, they've made things worse because what they actually have done, they've had to rehire some people in some circumstances because they got ordered by the courts to do so in some of those circumstances because of the ramifications of it. I assure you it's a no green stuff. I assure you it's a no green stuff. Definitely stronger system banker. Yeah, probably something illegal, but not to Elon Musk. Being attacked relentlessly is not super fun, he said. Seeing cars burning is not fun, he added, referring to the instance of Tesla cars being smashed and set on fire. You like I said, you're destroying people's lives. So when people's lives are destroyed and they've lost everything, people will turn to violence. Don't support the violence, but people people get ugly when things beyond their control are taken away from them, their job taken away from them, their income taken away from them, when they have absolutely nothing. They will turn to violence because things under no circumstance beyond their control were taken from them. Not saying it's right, but this is where some people turn to. In the grand scheme of things, I think we've been effective, not as effective as I'd like. I think we could be more effective, Musk said, but we've made progress. Doge's large-scale slashings have been met with dozens of lawsuits. Doge attempts to access sensitive government information, including social security data, has similarly met resistance in court, and Democrats this week unveiled an online tracker tallying the federal funds approved by Congress that Doge has blocked, setting up a constitutional struggle between the 2 branches of government. Musk wouldn't offer examples of anything that he'd do differently, though Doge is nowhere near its original saving goals and has overstayed its progress. Doge has sought to cut spending by $1 trillion. Musk estimates he cut 160 billion. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to drink water. I do apologise. Breathe. Musk estimates that he cut $160 billion so far, and that he acknowledged that it would be hard to get anywhere close to the $1 trillion. Oh, so you acknowledge it's not as simple as that then? You remember the chainsaw on there, going to cut government efficiency, effectiveness? Oh, I guess you realise it's not as simple as that, is it? So easy. It's so easy to talk the talk, but when it comes to actually walking the walk, it's a very different matter. It's sort of how much of pain is the cabinet and the Congress willing to take, Musk said. It can be done, but it requires dealing with a lot of complaints. Well, you're not the one, again, like I said, you're not the one who's losing everything, just putting it out there. Musk didn't detail any of those complaints, but said he has a good relationship with President Donald Trump's cabinet. I don't think the cabinet likes you. I think the cabinet are just putting up with you just to keep Trump happy. I really don't think there's a lot of people in the Republican Party in that cabinet are big fans of Musk, and are big fans of Musk, and are kind of just appeasing him just for Donald Trump's sake. When asked about clashes with certain members, particularly Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Musk said at times there will be some disagreements with the cabinet. He defended Doge's attempts to access Americans' personal data, dismissing concerns about a potential surveillance state by quipping that we already have a surveillance state. He said Doge... Wait, it's not a joke, mate. He said Doge needs to access the system in its hunt for fraud, and said there has to be some way to reconcile the improper payments. Like, you haven't found any fraud. This is the problem. He hasn't found any fraud. He said Doge has referred cases of suspected fraud to the Justice Department, though he offered a few details, including how many referrals were made. Antonio Gradius, a Musk investor working for Doge, pointing to the indictment last week of an Iraqi man living in New York on charges of that he illegally voted in the 2020 election. But US prosecutors said DOGE assisted in the investigation. Okay. A Justice Department spokesperson said DOGE was working closely with the DOJ to identify potential fraud. Musk acknowledged that there were some instances where, in which he had to restore the jobs of some government workers who, in his words, were accidentally let go, like some people that were doing important regulatory work and taking care of national parks. Yeah, this is the thing. Some of the people that were laid off. He put some of the people who were working in this government efficiency DOGE, who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Laid off a bunch of people where they're doing some of the most important jobs. And then it's like, oh, we actually need someone for that job. We need to get him back. Yeah, you need to call that person up and get him back. When asked if he found any areas where he recommended efficiencies beyond cuts, Musk veered into the nation's military strategy and said he had repeatedly recommended to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth that he should be spending more money on hypersonic missiles and long-range drones instead of on crewed systems. Musk said DOGE... I'm good, thank you. Musk said DOGE was also working on improving connectivity for the nation's air traffic control system and renewing plans to improve its software, but DOGE's primary goal is trying to stop wasteful and fraudulent spending. Again, they haven't, like I said, they haven't actually done a very good job of that. But on other points, he was vague. Who will lead DOGE when he leaves? DOGE is a way of life, he said. Like Buddhism. Are you fucking serious right now? Will he retain the title of senior advisor to the president? I guess. Will DOGE wrap up its work by July 2026 as originally stated? If the president wants to stick by that date, we'll stick to that date. How many of roughly 100 DOGE employees will stay on the job while he winds down? Some will stay on, some will not. It's up to them. It's basically a volunteer. What? They're not even... What? Wait, so people who aren't even being paid by DOGE, who... I didn't actually know this. I actually thought the people who were working for DOGE were actually getting paid. So you're telling me that they're not even getting paid to mess around with government sensitive information, with Social Security? These are volunteers? They're volunteers? That's a lie. Nothing has been reported to the courts, said Alistair Keir. Yep. I would have heard it from Glenn Kushner on his from his videos if that was the case, because he would have covered something like that if that was the case. Is DOGE winding down? No, I think it will gain momentum. Musk struck up a friendship with Trump during the 2024 campaign and spent nearly $300 million on the election, the bulk of which went towards helping the Republicans reclaim the White House. Since then, he's become a consistent presence with Trump. Musk said on Wednesday that he was working on DOGE 7 days a week during his first month of administration, at times sleeping in the Lincoln bedroom at the Trump invitation. Like, very sad. I would say go back to playing video games, but he's not very good at that. He declined to say how many times that he has slept at the White House, but said that the president had implored him to try to come out ice cream from the kitchen. Dr. RFK Musk joke, referring to Trump's health secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Musk described it as an intense period for which he was trying to understand and map out the federal government. It's a startup efficiency. A new administration is like a startup, he said. But it's not a proper efficiency. It's nothing proper. Let's be clear, because it hasn't. This new government department never went through the proper processes. It never went through the proper processes because because it has to go through the courts. It has to be, you have to get questioned by the Supreme Court. He didn't go through any of that. But he said he's now scaling back his work on DOGE, spending 1 or 2 days a week on it, and he plans to be in Washington less. Now he's getting much more of a rhythm, so the amount of time necessary for me to spend here is much less, he said. He also pointed to the limitations of his statute as a special government employee, which means he can only work 130 days in a 365-day time period. He said he will keep his tiny office on the second floor of the West Wing that he said has a view of nothing, a feature that he remarked that keep him safe. It's hard to shoot me, he said. That's not a very good line of sight. If he wasn't in politics, I'd have a very different view of Elon Musk. You know, my dad actually. I remember having a talk about Elon Musk one time, and my dad said, if you take the politics out of this man, I would actually admire Elon Musk for things that he's done. He said, but the politics in him has completely destroyed his reputation across the globe. Now, it's completely destroyed his reputation. You know, he's destroyed so many lives with what he's done by being a part of this Trump administration. He really has. It's so disgraceful. It's so disgraceful, and he has so much money. I'm glad that he's lost a lot of money recently, thanks to Trump's and his tariffs and his play about with the stock market. I'd like to think that he eventually just gets pulled away. But you know what the worst thing about all this is, yeah? About this guy in particular, right? He's been in charge of DOGE and made calls and whatnot. So he's responsible for people losing their jobs. He's responsible for some people not being able to get their social security by some of the actions that they've done. People's lives have been destroyed. Is there going to be any accountability? No. There's not going to be any accountability. He's not going to face any crimes. He's not going to face any judgment. He's not going to go to prison. He's not going to pay any fines. Even if he did, he'd pay them off. He's not going to face anything. He's not going to face any kinds of crimes. And there will be a lot of Americans who have lost their jobs. Many of their lives have been destroyed by the actions of Elon Musk under Donald Trump. Yes, the buck stops with Trump, but Elon Musk is also Elon Musk is responsible for destroying many American lives. And there'll be no accountability. There'll be no he won't be going to prison. He won't be facing any action of any shape or form, Elon Musk. And that's it. And it's terrible. It's terrible because because of the whole system. And it's about to get a hell of a lot worse, guys, with this story from NBC News. A hell of a lot worse. So Congress is considering ending legal help for migrant children after judge orders a restart. A group that provides attorneys to unaccompanied migrant children says a Republican proposal would dismantle protections which would be catastrophic for children, including victims of trafficking. Why would you want to take away legal help for children? Like, here's the thing. Like, it's wrong. I want to make this clear. What I'm about to say is absolutely wrong. But from ICE and from this Trump, from this government's perspective, I can understand them wanting to go after adults. But why children? Why children? Like, they can't claim in any way, shape, or form that children of any nationality are a threat to America or are a threat to the government. They can't make that claim in any way, shape, or form. Why would you end legal help for them? Like, this is the same that when we talk about the children that are dying needlessly in Gaza as well, and they never get talked about as well. We're talking about children here. And he wants to end the legal help for them. I just don't know why they want to do this. Just before a judge ordered it to do so, the Trump administration agreed to resume paying for attorneys for migrant children who came to the United States alone. But groups have been struggling to keep such unaccompanied children from being deported, says the legal help is still in jeopardy under a Republican proposal put forward in a House committee on Wednesday. I've been doing this work for a very long time, and from what I read in this bill, it took my breath away, says Jennifer Podgill, Vice President for Policy and Advocacy at Kids in Defense of Need. This bill not only makes it impossible for children to access protections in the United States, but it would make the government responsible for putting children in even more compromised and dangerous conditions. The White House, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the House Judiciary Committee, which considered the measures, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The U.S. District Judge Aquani Martinez Oregon. If I mispronounced the name, I apologize. California's Northern District issued a preliminary injunction on late Tuesday ordering the administration to resume the money for the legal assistance, which it had stopped in March. Several groups that provided the legal help sued after they were forced to abruptly lay off workers and scramble to find other help for unaccompanied migrant children with pending cases, including some who are victims of trafficking, and in some instances withdrew from the cases. Martinez Oregon has ordered the administration to resume paying for the attorneys in the case, but the plaintiffs' groups filed additional complaints with the courts, saying the administration refused to comply with the temporary restraining order. And during that time, the administration appealed had also tried to have the judge recuse herself. On Monday, on the eve of the deadline for Martinez Oregon's decision on the preliminary injunction, the administration signed a modified contract with ASEA Center for Justice, said Adina Abraham. Sorry if I mispronounced the names, guys. Program Director for the Amir Center for Immigration Rights Immigration Impact Lab, which is representing some of the plaintiffs. ASEA had subcontracted more than 100 groups around the country to provide legal help to about 26,000 unaccompanied children. The new contract is for a shorter period, Applepem has said. But how long the funding will last could depend on what Congress does in the budget legislation currently being written. The measure considered by the House Committee would emit money for attorneys for unaccompanied children, which Congress has paid for that since 2009, according to an immigration and anti-trafficking group that renewed the legislation. Attorneys with the groups say. The measure has also proposed a number of fees that would charge unaccompanied children and their parents or guardians who they could end up with in the United States. You want to charge? They include $5,000 for arriving at the border between legal ports of entry, as well as sponsorship fees for up to $8,000. They wanna. It's bad enough that they want to take legal aid, but they want to rip money out of them at the same time. They want to rip money off them as well. Members of organizations that assist unaccompanied children said the proposals, if it became law, would dismantle protections for unaccompanied children, with catastrophic implications for children seeking safety in the United States, including many who are trafficking victims within and outside the country. Jane Brueggemann, Executive Director of the Freedom Network, the country's largest coalition of anti-traffic advocates and experts, said the United States has made impressive progress against human trafficking over the past 25 years. The measure considered by the committee, Brueggemann said, would be a huge gift to traffickers, an increase in vulnerability for children and families in the United States that will lead to more abuse and exploitation. And it will, because this Trump administration is determined to deport as many non-Americans as possible. And they don't care who you are. If you are not a white American, you will be targeted. I'm not joking. They will find a reason to target you. Even if you're an American citizen, you are not safe. How many times have we said this? There's a reason why tourism has gone down in America, because people's safety is not guaranteed. Because there was a story Max covered in one of his videos, I think it was today, where a German couple was strip searched. Why? I don't know. It's just, yeah. And we do not deport migrants or illegal migrant children. I mean, we're talking about children here, guys. Yeah. Sean Moore, good to see you there. I hope you're doing well. This is beyond this is beyond fucked up. Yeah, it is messed up. Imagine putting a 5-year-old in front of a judge. Like, what's it's just a kid. It's just a kid. Child doesn't understand anything. These children don't understand anything. We should be We should be helping children. And it goes back to something that I always think about, guys. Where is the humanity? Where are the morals? Where is the moral compass of some of these individuals? They have none. They are completely and totally consumed by money and power. Completely and totally consumed. And they have no idea of the consequences around them. No idea. So, we need a little break to break the ice from this. It really was pretty brutal to cover that. Unfortunately, the stories don't get any better, I'm afraid. Are you aware that Congress passed the bill last night allowing Trump to deport American citizens without due process? Yes, Phil, I am aware of that bill. I don't have it in my stories, but yes, I am aware of that story. Good to see you, Phil. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. It's just... No one is safe in America. We've said that no one is safe. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Roger Devine, good to see you there. Let me guess, Trump having his pooties pants and called for a great moment in the evolution of humankind. Yeah, probably done that, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, we need a break, a breather after that, guys. So, I hope you guys enjoy this. I have to say, I do love this person who does a great impersonation of Karoline Leavitt of the press conferences. And this is her one today she put out here. It's already been posted on Twitter, so hope you guys enjoyed this one of Karoline Leavitt here. Made the first press briefing, interpreted by Lisandra Vazquez. So I hope you guys enjoy this this. This
new media seat is an unbiased, full of integrity, and this is Liberty Steele of the Patriot Power Hour. Why don't you kick us off?
Thank you, Karoline. You're so beautiful. Are we still working on arresting all Democrats?
That's a good... Thank you. And that's... take notes. Again, Caitlin. Washington Post. Take notes. Okay? This is the kind of question we need in this room. Thank you. Hillary Rodham Clinton will be jailed because we are not done with her. We are spending so many man hours into making sure that her and Barack Hussein Obama do get jailed for their crimes. But no one has more crimes under their belt than Joe Biden. Joe Biden allowed all of these criminals to enter the country on purpose. He was like, hey, Abrego Gloria Trevi, come in, traffic all these women. And while you're at it, why don't you help Nicolas Cage steal the Declaration of Independence? That's why President Trump has it in the Oval Office now. He's guarding it from all of those criminals. And you know how those prisoners were spelling SOS in the yard? The liberal media, you guys are reporting like they need help. Do you know what they're doing? They're calling out for Rihanna. Yeah. Do you know that she has that song, SOS, please someone help me? It's not healthy for me to feel this. Do you know what that's about? Joe Biden made that song with her as, do you know, let's pull up the image right here. What do you see? That's Joe Biden with tattoos all over his body because he's a gang leader. He commissions all this music to hypnotize people. You heard it here first. Sure.
The first quarter reportings of the economy are looking really bad.
Okay, no, yes, this is why we don't listen to the woke media. I disagree with the premise of your question. President Trump is actually bringing us into the golden age of America with $8 trillion in investments. We are the strongest we've ever been. And if anybody says anything different, it's because of Joe Biden, who left us in shambles, frankly. And it's insulting that you're saying that to me. He left us with low record numbers. And if your children don't have toys this Christmas, it's because of the Grinch, aka Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris, who left her little loser speech. Okay. Anyway, going to the Diet Coke social in the Oval now.
Karoline knows exactly who this woman is, and she fucking despises her. She despises this woman so much, but she can't do anything about it. She can't do nothing about it. Yeah, I love the kiddie block cross. It's brilliant. She always has a different cross on just to wind Karoline up. It's brilliant. We needed that, guys. We needed that. We needed that after the last story, guys. We needed that. We gotta try and have. We need some of that. we need some of that with this, because America does, some of the stories that come out of America do make us sick to our stomachs. Obviously, that last one was really disheartening. But we can only hope that those with compassion and care continue to fight as best they can in the courts and on the streets to try and help as many people as they possibly can there. It's really, really important they do so. Chris Fisher, good to see you there, buddy. No, you haven't caught the end. We've still got plenty of stories. We've just come to the interval. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, our next story is from ABC News, and yeah, things can only get better. The Trump administration discontinues $1 billion in school mental health grants. The department said the program was not advancing administration priorities. Yeah, mental health is that, mental health in his mind is something that's not real, obviously. With the Health Secretary Kennedy, he thinks it's a phase. It's like the same thing with what's the other thing he's going to war against? Autism. It's like he's going to war against people with autism. It's just like you realize how messed up how messed up children are going to be. Mental health. People with mental health. People have serious mental health issues. I'm someone that has suffered from mental health, and you guys know that on the chat. Those who've been here a long time know that I've suffered from mental health. We've had live streams specifically on them as well. Mental health is a real thing. There's some of you here in the chat who have suffered from mental health. And for younger people, it's even worse for them, especially when they don't have the help and the support that they need. And there's some people that simply just don't have the money there. They don't have the parents. Some people don't have parents with big stacks of money to help them. So more people could end up being homeless as a result of this. More people could end up in prison as a result of this. More people's lives could be destroyed as a result of this. So the Trump administration will not renew Biden-era grants worth $1 billion that were aimed at boosting mental health services in schools, the Department of Education spokesperson confirmed to ABC News. These grants are intended to improve American students' mental health by funding additional mental health professionals in schools and on campuses, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Communications Madison Biderman wrote in a statement to ABC News. Instead, under a deeply flawed priority to the Biden administration, grant recipients use the funding to implement race-based actions like recruiting quotas in ways that have nothing to do with mental health and could hurt the very students in the grants they are supposed to help. Question: do you have any evidence that supports this, that it doesn't do anything to help them? Do you have any evidence that supports this claim? Like, it's just trying to claim because it's a Biden policy, it has to be bad. The decision comes as the Trump administration takes sweeping action to eliminate diversity, equality, and inclusion programs and alleged racial discrimination practices in schools. However, multiple courts have blocked efforts to ensure schools certify compliance with the administration's demands. Yeah, they really want to. Basically, anyone who's not a white American, they want to make their lives a living hell. They really, really do. There's a reason why the cabinet doesn't. There's a reason why that there's. Is there any general question? I don't think there's any black person in that cabinet. Not in the cabinet, but. Is there any black MAGA out there that are really supportive of some of these things? Like, answers, I'm generally serious. Like, is there really? The department said the grant program will not advance in administration priorities. Conservative activist Christopher Waldo allowed the administration's decision to discontinue the program, alleging that they intended to advance left-wing radicalism and discrimination. It's to help people with mental health. It's got nothing to do with politics. It's nothing to do with politics. It's nothing to do with left-wing, right-wing. It's about helping people with mental health. It's nothing to do with politics. Alistair Keir, thank you so much for that £2 super chat. Mental health lives maybe how the Democratic Penguins Republic. Yes, and you can support the Democratic Penguins Republic like Alistair Keir has tonight, guys, by just one more super chat to help us reach our super chat goal. And that money goes towards the protecting and the defending McDonald's Island, the home of the Democratic Penguins Republic, who are protecting themselves from the evil orange tirade and his tariffs. You can make a donation if you want to support them with a super chat. No, you don't honestly have to, guys. I'm just trolling. But if you want to, but I'm joking. It does. But if you want to, you can do. In all seriousness, really appreciate it. Thank you, Alistair, for the super chat. Yeah, we do support we are advocate supporters of the Democratic Penguins Republic. Pingu is obviously, he's not the leader, but he has a very high role in it. He actually told me he does most of the foreign affairs because obviously he's part of Briggs. Going off topic anyway. David Gerardo, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. A long time I survived the shortage of electricity. Oh, good. I'm glad you got electricity back. Very important. No more slush fund for activists under the guise of mental health, Rufio wrote in a post on X. But American Federation of Teachers President Randy Wedigan called it a direct attack on the safety of the well-being of children. They may not have agreed on everything, but Congress secured $1 billion in bipartisan mental health grants to help kids better understand themselves and the world around them, Wendy Garden wrote in a statement. The benefits were obvious. Now, with a stroke of her pen, the halting progress has been wiped away, even as the president and his allies insist that improving mental health is the only way to fix the gun violence epidemic. Yeah, I forget about the right to bear arms in America. I forget about that, don't I? Chris Fisher, thank you so much for the £2 super chat for helping me and the Democratic Penguins Republic reach the threshold. Pengu would like to say thank you to everyone who has supported. Sorry guys, I have to go off topic temporarily. And thank you Phil McCracken for the £10 super chat. Thank you Phil, really very kind of you, my friend. Really appreciate you guys, everyone who has done a super chat on today's live stream. Really does support the Penguins Republic and their work. Pingu has said that he will be visiting Putin within the next couple of days, guys, while there's no live streams. He'll be visiting Putin because, he represents the Penguins Republic for Briggs, in case anybody's curious there. So thank you guys for your support. I really do appreciate it. Very kind of you all, really. The grants were allocated under President Joe Biden's signatory Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the BSCA, the anti-gun violence law signed after mass school shootings in Uvalde, Texas in 2022, used historic funding to add more mental health service to schools over 5 years, according to former White House officials. Does anyone get the feeling... is anyone going to get this feeling? Because while my mouth's getting dry, I'm going to need to just have a cough and a sweetener here to help me. Does anyone get the feeling that gun violence, that, shootings in schools are about to get a hell of a lot worse in America? Do you guys feel that? I feel like it's going to get a hell of a lot worse. It felt like that they calmed a little bit under Biden, and now they're going to shoot up under the Trump administration. Or they're already high, and we don't hear about them because things are so chaotic with this Trump administration that the media just don't have time to cover it. I just feel like, schools are just becoming even more and more unsafe. ABC News had previously reported on the Biden administration prioritizing mental health service in schools during a youth crisis prompted by interruption and learning time and social isolation from the coronavirus pandemic. Yeah. This was a big problem, obviously. People, when we were coming out of the COVID pandemic, obviously, many people were just... still many people across the world, not just in the US, but many people across the world shoved themselves inside bubbles and just did not come out of their bubbles, shutting themselves off the world because of the fear of the coronavirus of that. So, yeah, especially young people. That's really bad for some young people. Dimitri Net, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. The West is owned by capital. Is completely effed. Their people are at risk. The government is owned by the folks abusing the people, says Chris Fisher. Yeah, it is, unfortunately. It's terrible. The former president had indicated his goal was to double the number of school-based practitioners, including social workers, psychiatrists, and counselors. Dr. Trish Brookins, a certified social worker at Jefferson County, Kentucky, told ABC News that the Trump administration's decision could result in missed opportunities, deepening trauma, and diminished futures for students across the country. This cut undermines every effort we made to build safe, responsive, and equitable schools, Brookins wrote in a statement. Mental health support in schools is not a luxury, it's a necessity, she added. Yeah. Not left or right capital, says Chris there. I've spoken so many times about mental health. I'll have to check when probably next mental health live stream is probably not too far away. Probably next month I'll probably do one. Yeah, but it's just so many people's lives are going to be deeply affected. So many people are going to be worse off as a result of this cut. But where is this money going to go instead? You know, they're not going to fund it. Where's that money going to go? Oh, it's going to go towards the massive tax cuts that the Republicans want to do for their millionaires and billionaires and their rich friends. Because, yeah, that will definitely make America great again, doesn't it, guys? Mike Waltz is sacked, not Hegsev. This was the... you weren't here when I showed this. This was the last update I had, but like I said, it's an ongoing situation. It said Trump announced that Mike Waltz will be nominated as UN ambassador and Marco Rubio is the new interim national security advisor. It was stated there. I don't know what's happened since then, Phil, but that was the latest one I had before going live. So it's possible it's updated since then. But yeah, sorry guys, I'm losing my brain because it's so hot today. So, are we all ready to see America really cripple? Like, are we really ready to see it really cripple? It's just a matter of time, guys. The time bomb is really ticking for America. The last boats without crippling tariffs from China are arriving. The countdown to shortages and higher prices has begun. And when they run out, it's going to be painful. So many businesses in America who rely on things from China, they are so screwed. They are so screwed. So many businesses are going to go bust. So many people are going to get laid off. Unemployment is going to rise. Cost of things are going to go up even more than ever before in the next... over time. And this kind of actually reminds me a lot of Brexit. You remember when Brexit actually happened, it didn't impact people straight away. Remember we were saying it was going to take time for it to come through. And this is what's going to happen. It's going to start taking time for people to realize that things are getting bad. Like really start getting bad. Because a lot of people are just continuously living their lives not paying attention to politics. But when politics is enforced on them, when they start feeling things around them that they're getting worse off, their lives feel like everything is costing more. When they feel like picking up simple groceries and whatnot. When things start feeling worse for them, which they have absolutely no relevance to politics, that's when it will start hitting them. That's when they'll start realizing. Because that's what happened with Brexit. But the thing is that our politicians are still very hesitant to talk about Brexit. But we know that Brexit is bad. We know that reversing it will be good for us. But this is America's version of Brexit. It's an absolute killer. It's all right for those. It's all right for those who haven't got business with China. Though they'll still get hurt. But those who rely on China, trade with China, business with China, they're so screwed. They are so screwed in this, guys. So some of the last cargo ships carrying Chinese goods without crippling tariffs are currently drifting into US ports. Come next week, though, that will change. Cargoes on ships from China loaded after April the 9th will carry with them the 145% tariff. Wait a minute, how old is this story? Yeah, it's Thursday, May the 1st. They must have updated it. 145% tariff President Donald Trump slapped on goods from the nations last month. Next week, those goods will arrive. I thought it was today, this story. But there will be fewer ships at sea, and they will be carrying less cargo. For many importers, it is too expensive to do business with China. And yet China is still one of America's most important trading partners. It's where we get most of our clothes, footwear, electronics, and microchips with power appliances, thermostats, and anything else that beeps. Oh dear. Oh dear. They have no idea what's coming, do they? Businesses are making difficult choices, continuing selling products from China at more than double the previous prices, or stop selling these products altogether. For consumers, that means some products will be hard to find and maybe too expensive to buy. Starting next week is when we will begin to see the arrivals of that tariff announcement on April the 2nd, said Gene Sakola, Executive Director of the Port of Los Angeles, where nearly half of the businesses come from China. Cargo coming into Los Angeles will be 35% compared for a year ago. Imports into the United States during the second half of 2025 are expected to fall at least 20% year over year, according to the National Retail Federation. The decline from China will be even starker. JP Morgan expects a 75% to 80% drop in imports from there. If not easily replaced by the imports from other countries, a collapse in this magnitude would not only sharply boost prices, but also significantly disrupt supply chains, JP Morgan detailed in its report. This means less work, higher prices on shelves, and fewer choices for consumers. Sarika says the countdown has already begun. Many major retailers have told us they have about 6 to 8 weeks supply of inventory in their systems. The United States manufacturers and consumers alike will find difficult decisions in the weeks and months to come if the policy doesn't change. Do you remember when I don't know if you guys, how many of you guys were aware of the story where the retailers had a secret meeting? I think it was last week, Monday, or the week before that, Monday, where they had a private meeting with Donald Trump and basically said, if you don't change this, shelves are going to be empty and people are going to start mass panicking. You don't want mass panic, Mr. President. You need to do something. At the port of Shanghai in China, the biggest cargo ships are sitting idle. Shipping companies have begun using smaller ships to move cargo as demand softened. Even so, sailing from China to the US fell 60% in April, according to Flexport, a logistics and freight forwarding broker. Companies that operate the ships, they cancel a lot of sailing, they said. Hey, we're not going to sail that ship half full. We're going to leave it here, said Ryan Peterson, the CEO of Flexport. There's a lot of ships just sitting here off the coast of China waiting and expecting a deal. In March, the port of New York and New Jersey became the busiest port in the country as retailers front-load cargo before tariffs hit, but this month the volume is expected to drop off, the port said. 25% of cargo that comes into the East Coast port arrives from China, but the port said more goods have been coming from Vietnam, Malaysia, Southeast Asia, and retailers tried to shift production to avoid tariffs from China. There was an article from the... oh God, who is it? Was from the Washington Theaters. I can't remember what the newspaper's article's name. Basically, they had a picture of one of America's busiest ports was basically completely empty because of all this. I can't remember who it was that showed the picture. It was on Vosh's live stream. That's all. I know it was on Vosh's live stream that it was shared on there. I do recommend checking out Vosh's videos as well. YouTube.com/Vosh. I have him on his content regularly posted on Discord now as well, because I do think it's very useful information. Higher prices on store shelves coming in the weeks. Once the cargo hits US ports, the goods will take us a few weeks to hit store shelves. When the country kind of inventory runs out, more expensive tariff items will make their way onto shelves. There's a lot of concern right now that our retailers are in the process of trying to figure out those back to school and Christmas orders and how they're going to place those, said Jonathan Gold, Vice President of Supply Chain and Customer Policy at the National Retail Federation. And while the larger retailers can stockpile more inventory, smaller businesses don't have that luxury. Yeah, Christmas is going to be quite short-handed. You could find themselves quite a few empty shelves unless things drastically change between now and Christmas. Because here's the thing, it's normally a good couple of months, isn't it? During the summer, it's normally a good couple of months before, like 6 months or so. Like this month, the next few months is when they start bringing in shipments for Christmas and start piling up. That they always start, because retailers have to plan well ahead in advance what they're going to be doing for Christmas, and this is a massive fuck up for them, because as we all know, Christmas is the best time of the year to make any profit. And if they don't have the products they need, their business is die literally because their businesses, some retailers, some businesses rely solely on the profits that they make during the Christmas period. They're so screwed. They're so screwed. Especially for small retailers who don't have the ability to absorb any of the tariff impact. They're trying to figure out what their next steps are, GoldAddy. Americans rely on China for thousands of products. Everything from flat screen TVs to baby strollers. US businesses imports more toys, apparels and footwear from China than any other country according to the United States International Trade Commission. Can you imagine it all being empty? Can you imagine it all being empty? Is Trump actually gonna do that? 45% of supply chain leaders expect they'll pass the higher costs from tariffs down to the consumers, according to a new survey by Gardner, a corporate research firm. Cyril doesn't see empty shelves coming, but he does see less selection. So if you're looking for a certain type of pants, you may find all kinds of pants, but not the type you want. If you want, and the type you want is going to be priced up, said Siaga. This is definitely Brexit because we have less choices here in the UK as a direct result of Brexit. You know, you're going to have lesser choices. You're going to have lesser choices, basically. Flexport Peterson is less optimistic. If this goes on for a few more weeks, retailers will sell through that inventory, and by the summertime, you'll have shortages and empty shelves, he said. Could you imagine if he'd done this in the run-up to Christmas? With fewer cargo ships expected at US ports, local economies will suffer immediately. Businesses from China accounts for 45% of ports from Los Angeles portfolio, which is the most significant share of any US port. Without that volume, there will be less demand for workers. So I don't see mass layoffs at the port, but I do see that a trucker who is holding 4 or 5 containers today will likely be holding 2 or 3 after next week, said Ciara. And the dock worker who has been getting overtime and double shifts will work less than a full works week because there are a few containers coming in. Same with warehousing people. That's Los Angeles there now. This was on the 10th of April. That's quite a while ago now. I wonder what it looks like now. It's probably going to be very quiet. No worries, Roger Devine. Thanks for popping in. The American Trucking Association has been calling on President Trump to make deals with key trading partners, including Canada, Mexico, and China, to protect trucking jobs. The longer tariffs last, the greater the pain for truckers, as well as families and businesses we serve, said Chris Spear, President and CEO of American Trucking Association last month. Not only will tariffs reduce cross-border freight, but they will also increase operational costs. The price of a new truck could rise by up to $35,000, amounting to a $2 billion annual tax and putting new equipment out of reach for small carriers. Since the supply chain crisis during the pandemic, retailers have worked to shift production away from China to Vietnam and other Asian countries with manufacturing capacity. But Gold says the import from those other countries aren't enough to replace the drop in cargo from China. It takes time, months, if not years, to establish these new relationships, to make sure that the new suppliers have got the capacity, they've got the skill workforce, they've got the right infrastructure, all the testing requirement that needs to be done for products coming in the US, especially for children's products, says Gold. It's not something that can happen overnight. No, it's this is absolutely true. You've got, they're now telling, like, businesses now, quite a few of those businesses will probably be trying to establish relationships and trade deal, try to establish some kind of compromises with Europe, with Britain, with countries, maybe out with countries that are not associated directly with China. But that's going to take time to do. But the thing is, they're not going to get as better of a deal as they do with China because it's cheaper in China because it's manufactured in China. Oh dear. And the thing is, he didn't he impose the same level of tariffs on other Asian countries because of other manufacturers as well? I mean, I suppose they'll be pushing a lot from India now because obviously India is being slapped with a tariff, it won't be as bad as China there. DEI said they wouldn't deliver any parcels over $800 to America, says Casper Nova. Damn. So what are you going to do? My thinking is this, says Chris Fisher, one of the highest costs of high-end manufacturing is energy input costs. Scotland being abundant can clearly, with state-owned at-cost production, create a manufacturing hub. A lot of videos coming out of the US showing empty ports, says Jal. Yeah, they are. Even Portugal is exporting eggs to the US. They are paying much more than other traditional importers of our eggs, says Jal. Portuguese eggs for American consumers. Yeah, that's not good. There's definitely some dark German genes in you, Jal. Says Phil. What's that about? I am a man of the world. Jal says to Alistair here. I'm sorry, I've not been catching up with the conversation there. Who shifted production abroad for profit? The US. Why are they crying about it now? Not wrong. Not wrong about that. They are not wrong about that. And while all those things are going on, guys, they're making even more money, this Trump administration. This is from the New York Times. At a Dubai conference, Trump's conflicts take center stage. A deal for a state-backed Emory firm to use a Trump-affiliated digital coin was announced in a parcel that included the president's son and his business partner, who promised that this is only the beginning. Oh, yes. They're going to make more money, this Donald Trump and his family. Oh, yes, they are. So let's read into this. Sitting in front of a packed auditorium in Dubai, the founder of Trump's family cryptocurrency business made a brief but monumental announcement on Thursday. A fund backed by Abu Dhabi, he said, would be making a £2 billion business deal using Trump's firm digital coins. That transaction would be a major contribution by a foreign government to President Trump's private venture, one that stands to generate hundreds of millions of dollars for the Trump family and is a public and vivid illustration of the ethical conflict swirling around Mr. Trump's crypto firm, which has blurred the boundaries between business and government. Zach Wyckoff, the founder of the Trump family crypto firm, World Liberty Financial, revealed that the so-called staple coin developed by the firm would be used to complete the transactions between the state-backed Emory investment firm MGX and Binnacle, the largest crypto exchange in the world. Virtually every detail Ms. Whitcott's announcement made during the conference panel with Mr. Trump's second eldest son contained a conflict of interest. Yeah, no shit. No shit. Yes, fine. You can banter all you want, guys. It's all good. MGX use of the World Liberty stablecoin USDI1 brings a Trump family company into business with a venture firm backed by a foreign government. The deal creates a formal link between the World Liberty and I know I'm saying the word wrong, guys. Binnacle, a company that has been under US government oversight since 2023, when it admitted to violating federal money laundering laws. And the splashy announcement served as an advertisement to crypto investors worldwide about the potential for forming a partnership with the company tied to President Trump, who is listed as World Liberty Chief Crypto Advocate. We thank MGX and Binnacle for their trust in us, says Mr. Witkoff, who is the son of the White House envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff. It's only the beginning. Mr. Witkoff and Eric Trump were speaking on a panel at Token 2049, a major crypto conference at the United Arab Emirates, where more than 10,000 digital currency enthusiasts have gathered for a week of networking. It was the latest stop in an international tour by Mr. Witkoff, who visited Pakistan last month with his business partners to meet the Prime Minister and other government officials. Eric Trump, who runs the family business, has spent the week in Dubai when he announced plans to back a Trump-branded hotel and tower. One angry pagan, good to see you there. All hail the Badgers! All hail the Badgers! All hail the Badgers! Frigs, love and blessings to all the wonderful Badgers. That's one angry pagan. Yes, penguins and badgers alike. The president himself is set to travel to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE on state visits in 2 weeks' time. I wonder what he'd be possibly talking about, guys. His son's panel with Mr. Witkoff was the most anticipated event of the Dubai conference. The auditorium, inside a luxury resort on the shores of the Peninsula Gulf, was packed with crypto investors from around the world, many of whom who've had to stand in the aisles or lean on pillows propped against the wall to watch the conversation. This is just one incredible country, Mr. Wickoff said from the stage. One of the most initiative, if not the most initiative country on the planet Earth today. Representative for Binal, MGX, and the World Library did not respond to a request for comment. I wonder why. Once a crypto skeptic, President Trump embraced digital currencies on the campaign trail last year as the industry poured tens of millions of dollars into the 2024 election. In September, he and his sons unveiled World Liberty, which they pitched as the new kind of interest bank that would allow people to borrow and lend money using cryptocurrency. Since then, World Liberty has sold $550 million worth of new cryptocurrency called WLFI, with a large cut of the revenue earmarked for business entitled tied to the Trump family. In March, the company also created a stable coin, a type of digital currency designed to maintain the price of $1, making it convenient to use for large transactions because its value doesn't swing like a stock. The company's dealings have created conflicts of interest with no precedents in modern US history. Some of the investors who have bought the WLFI coins are foreign nationals who have been barred from supporting a president via campaign contributions or donations to the inaugural fund. And many of the firm's corporate partners have clear incentives to curry favor with the federal government as they seek to expand in the American market. Yeah, you know, America always has its own corruption, but now we're going to get digital corruption. Yay! Even as the roster of panelists on stage in Dubai highlight how much the Trump's family business interests now bar with United States policy and regulation. Sitting alongside Mr. Wickoff and Eric Trump was one of the world's Liberty's top investors, Justin's son, a Chinese-born billionaire who runs the crypto platform Tron. Mr. Sun bought $75 million in WSI coins after the election. About a year earlier, the Securities and Exchange Commission sued Mr. Sun, accusing him of manipulating the price of a Tron cryptocurrency. When Mr. Trump took office, the SEC asked for a federal judge to pause the case while the agency negotiated a settlement, which the judge did. I've just got to thank you for your support, Justin, Mr. Wickoff said. Tron is just an incredible technology and we're lucky to be partners with you. Soon, Mr. Wickoff delivered the panel's big reveal. In March, Binance announced that MGX, an investment fund backed by the governments of Abu Dhabi, would invest $2 billion in the exchange using stable coins. But which particular stable coin it would use to do that has not been disclosed. The coin chosen for the transaction was World Liberty USDI, Mr. Wickoff has said. Wow, Mr. Sun had responded. Leaders of MGX and Binance have high-stake dealings with US officials. MGX is led by Sheikh Talon bin Zayed, I can't say the full name, my apologies, an Emirati royal who serves as the nation's national security advisor. In March, Sheikh Talon visited the United States for meetings with President Trump and some of his cabinet members and advisors. In 2023, Binance pleaded guilty to charges that it violated US anti-money laundering laws and allow criminals to transact on its platform. As part of a settlement with the Justice Department and other federal agencies, the company was placed under a Treasury Department monitorship to ensure it would comply with the law. In recent months, Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, I hope I said that right, has been seeking a pardon from the Trump administration after he pleaded guilty to money laundering violations and spent 4 months in federal prison. The role of USDI in the Binance deal with MGX provides major financial support to World Liberty. Stablecoin issuers like World Liberty make money big by accepting deposits from investors, giving them stable coins in return, and then investing those deposits to generate a yield that the issuer keeps. You know, this is so messed up. Like this is like next level crazy. Like just the money that they're throwing around with these coins is insane. And they really like and for small shrimps like us who invest in it, we lose. It's basically you're just throwing money into a void, to try and gain something in these kinds of crypto coins. And I used to do crypto coins through PayPal, but they changed the system, so I don't do it anymore. There's I didn't make any money for it. I didn't put much money in it at the time anyway. Might have lost a couple of quid, but it was with Bitcoin anyway. It was the one I had a bit of money with. But yeah, a lot of these ones I'm like, I've never heard of. And it just tells you just how much I step away from cryptocurrency nowadays. The propriety... put your teeth back in, Regan. The precise details of World Liberty arrangements with MGX and Binance are unclear, but it appears that with one deal, World Liberty now has $2 billion in deposits to invest. Those funds alone could generate tens of millions of dollars a year in revenue for the Trump family and its partners at World Liberty. Ultimately, Mr. Wyckoff said from the stage in Dubai, he expects the World Liberty stablecoin to grow even bigger, reaching many billions of market cap. Someday, he continued, visitors of the United Arab Emirates might even use the USDI coin to pay for 4 seasons at Abu Dhabi. At that, Eric Trump broke in with a correction. You're not going to be walking into the 4 seasons USDI, he said. You're going to be walking into the Trump International Hotel and Tower. This is blatant corruption right in front of our eyes. And it's like, well, but they are the government, and so no one's going to do anything about it. I mean, it's just bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers what these guys are doing, and no one's doing anything about it. It's like, yeah, the real thing is being able to program each coin as to where it can, as to where and what it can be spent on, says Chris Fisher. Problem with crypto is when the code is owned by the GF government. The fact is that the monopoly is programmable. They used to advertise it as NFTs. Yeah, they like. There's no benefit for ordinary people to invest in these. Yeah, there's no benefit of it at all. Is this about sovereign wealth fund made up of crypto idiot ideas? Says Pagan. Yeah, it's really messed up. I used to buy BTE like a decade ago, but I smoked it all. Said Dietrich's neck. Half literally zero interest in crypto. Yeah, stay away from them. President Trump is sponsoring corruption. Why? Well, I'm surprised that such an honest man would do such a thing, says Joe. I know, shocking. You know, it's not like Trump had his own Trump coin, isn't it, guys? It's not like we had such a thing. But yeah, those are some of the crazy stories that we have covered today. I know there's more out there, but guys, have you? But before we head out, guys, have you heard this shocking story, guys? I don't know how many of you are aware of this audacious story that Garen has caught upon, guys. This is a scandal that we must discuss with great detail while we are still here, guys. Taking the biscuit for 100 years, we've been eating chocolate digestives wrong. What?
I don't want to panic anybody, but we have apparently been eating chocolate digestives wrong for 100 years. This is very worrying. So almost everybody eats a chocolate digestive like this. Chocolate facing north to the brain. Let's have a go. Sensational. But according to McVitie's, who, by the way, need to lower the price of their fucking biscuits, you're supposed to eat with the chocolate facing downward, making direct contact with the tongue. Now, I am frightened, but I'm going to give it a go. Okay. It's everywhere, first of all. Well, I won't be trying that again. I'm in shock. Chocolate straight down on the tongue, raw. I couldn't escape. It's absolutely scandalous. There'll be no fucking turning biscuits upside down in this house, and I'll tell you that for free. I won't fucking charge you a penny for it. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar and follow me. I'm delicious.
Yeah, do follow the man. He is delicious. And yes, it is an absolute national scandal. Sorry, national. It is a global scandal to suggest that you should be turning your biscuits the other way round. I always, whenever I have my digestive biscuits, always have the chocolate on top. I think it's absolutely terrible that McVitie's have done this. And Garen also points out, of course, the prices of them as well, because it is a national disgrace how much they cost. Absolutely terrible. And I hope you guys are in agreement with it, that you all, whatever biscuits you have, you make sure you eat them the right way, guys. So what is the right way? I don't know what the right way to eat a biscuit. All I will say is, as long as it's tasty and you like it, that's the most important thing. I refuse to mix the cookie with the chocolate, says Jal. How dare you do such a thing? I'm a conservative Bicky Muncher, says Territory. No, I don't like change. On the 7th day, the chocolate biscuit song, says Billy Kershaw. Chocolate down for me, says one angry pagan. Ah, so you are the other way. Interesting. Jal says, I do not eat chocolate digestives. I eat cookies and chocolate, and they mustn't be separate. They mustn't be separate all the time. Yes, thank you for this important debate, guys. So, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Just a quick reminder before we head out. I will be live streaming at 8 a.m. with the Good Morning with Reganelite. It'll probably be more of a election one rather than a paper review. I'll see what I can dig up for you guys when I wake up tomorrow morning. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. So we'll cover some bits, obviously, on some of the bits going on in the local elections. I may do some other UK news and world news like we normally do. So it might be a bit of a hybrid. Like I said, I may go beyond an hour as well. Don't know. Depends. It depends, guys. But we will look at the results at 8 a.m. and see what's happening there, guys, with regards to the local elections. So if you do want to join me tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., an hour, maybe an hour and a half at best, but that's as long as it will go. You're more than welcome to join me for that. Just a reminder, there's no Friday evening live stream with me, but there'll be plenty of other live streamers that will be taking place tomorrow, and I'll run down the card for who's going to be going live tomorrow if you guys are interested for some of the YouTubers there. But and also a quick reminder as well, there'll be no live stream Monday evening. No live stream on Monday evening, guys. I want to stress that again. The next live stream after tomorrow will not be until Tuesday morning. Just want to remind you of that. So there'll be no Snowflake Viewpoint. The 100th episode, well, you'll have to wait to the following week for that one, guys. So thank you guys so much for those who gave super chats today. Phil, Alistair Keir, Chris Fisher, for your super chats. All of you, very much appreciate your support. All that stuff really does help support the channel. Supports the work that I do here, and it, of course, more importantly, supports the Democratic Penguins Republic and the work they do here. But of course, it also helps Ollie the Octopus as well here. Ollie, stop turning off the damn orb. He keeps turning it off. I swear he has an issue. I swear he keeps doing this. The rest of the gang here. If you are a YouTube member, by the way, you get emojis of all these awesome guys here who are our posse. So, Pingu, obviously, we talked about him many times. Ollie the Octopus, who was our first character. Cash Dummy, the Cookie Monster behind. And then there is Blaze the Charmander, who is also there as well. If we do have a new member, it will probably be a Badger, most likely. And Jal might have just jinxed my voice there, which is not a very good thing. I'm joking, by the way, by saying that. I'm joking, buddy. I'm joking. I'm just for the reference, I'm still taking honey and lemon. I'm still taking lockets because I don't trust my voice to be 100% better. And I'm still taking my prescribed medication until it runs out. And then what happens after that, we'll see. Just in case you're wondering about my voice and chest and that. I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm not taking anything for granted on my voice, guys. Just before I go, I just have one last thing to say before you guys head out. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. If you're on Twitch, please hit that follow button. Hit that bell notification icon. You'll be notified when I go live again, which will be tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. If you're on YouTube, please hit that bell notification icon. Turn it off, turn it on sometimes because it doesn't always work, just in case you're wondering. It's not a YouTuber thing. It's a YouTube thing. If your notifications don't always work as well. And if you guys want to financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. And you can also check out the Rumble and Patreon content. There's exclusive content on those platforms you can check out there. You can also join our Discord community, which is free to join as well. And as well as other links to other social medias if you guys are interested in checking them out there. If you click the links tree in the tab below, it takes you to all my social medias if you guys want to find me across multiple outlets. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.